So everybody, I know it's been a while. You've been waiting for some good stuff out of Texas, and I have got quite the fix for you. And joining me, of course, is our good friend Jan from Tesla Fix, because he's a great guy, and some of this information is very specific to him. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. So, Jan, I know you've been asking some questions, and it turns out I've got some answers. See, the thing is, when they don't invite me to events, I find my own stories. I dig as deep as I must. And as it turns out, I was in a car yesterday, and I was going to a pub, to a brewery with my buddy Paul. He suggested this place. He goes there every Thursday for quiz night. And when we got there, I noticed an inordinate number of Tesla cars in the parking lot. And an inordinate number of cars it was. He said, there's never this many cars. And we start going in, and the gentleman says, you here for the private event? And we said, yep. And said, all right, well, have a good night. And as we walk back, the long walk through the parking lot, we see more and more Teslas. And I'm telling Paul, he goes, well, it's Austin. There's a lot here. I said, my friend. And then we see the sign that says, welcome, Tesla employees. So we walked into the brewery, and it was different. It was quite an experience. It wasn't a huge party. It was a department party, but this department was very interesting. So I got some news from a bunch of conversations that I either had with people or overheard with people. And I'd love to say, oh, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble with Tesla. I don't get to go to events anyway. So what have I got to lose? If you want me to not do stories like this, invite me. I'll be so busy having all the fun. So first thing, in EU, there are concerns that this may not be road legal, that this may not happen because the early concerns we heard were all quite silly. The headlights are too high. Well, it turns out these are not the headlights. These are the headlights. That's just a daytime running. Of course. The brake lights, you can make them in amber. I saw a conversation between two geniuses over on Reddit who said, the one guy said, I work in lights, and I can guarantee you they have not requested anyone in the world go out and spec them turn signals in amber for the Cybertruck. And the other guy said, you can guarantee worldwide, no one in China is, come on, no, you can't. I don't care how much you know about an industry, you don't know everything. So none of that was a concern. But apparently in Europe, among the Tesla legal team, there is concern about crash test worthiness, specifically pedestrian safety. And that is one that you cannot fix with an over-the-air update. So how will it work? The directive from Elon is make it work. And that is not how physics is. So maybe we'll see. So it remains a question mark. Can it be done in Europe? We did find out at the event, drive-by-wire. So drive-by-wire means you can have right-hand drive. That's great. The other thing I found out from some folks on the web team is that the website is changing constantly. I thought it would be a great, hey, tell me about yourself question to ask. Once a website's built, what do you actually do? Silly question, right? But it afforded some good opportunities for answers. And one answer is, even if it appears done on, well, there's different countries and we're adding stuff. And like with the Model 3 rollout, Elon would say, by the way, this afternoon, we're going to be adding these 3 countries to the order, accepting orders. And the web team did not know that. They were not looped in. So in the control room, they actually had a TV up refreshing Elon's tweets so that they could know what they're supposed to be doing. So that's how they talk to the boss. I don't feel as bad anymore. He said that the Cybertruck launch page that you saw was changing up until 2 hours before it went live. So there were things that I go, like what? And he goes, no, that's worth a try. There are words on the page for the Cybertruck order that 2 hours before were still changing, 2 hours before it went live. So this is a big scoop. And there's other little juicy nuggets that I can't quite divulge just yet. I hope and you guys can tell me in the comments, am I making this up? Am I leaving out critical details? Because this is a very bold claim I'm making. And the biggest one I guess people would ask is maybe, did someone tip you off? And on that, I can tell you, no, I just found it. I stumbled onto it because, and I said to Paul, the odds of this happening are 0. There's it's a big city. It's a big city. And we still stumbled onto it. So, yeah. Wow. What questions do you have about that?
Wow, now you totally switched it up on me because, of course, I'm invited here for talking about EU regulations. That's what I thought, and now you drop the bombs here on your episode here. But I'm totally glad that I'm the first responder here to hear this. Wow, this is great because this also confirms a little bit what we've already heard with Elon's tweet recently, a few time ago, that he said that yeah, we should put this thing out in Europe. Basically, he said that or responded to a tweet. But now with that information as well, and that the legal team is that one is for me a huge deal actually, because wow, this is I'm speechless. I'm speechless because I was thinking about that could go on German roads, and the fact with the high beams you've said with the lights was for me now the big confirmation. We were speculating on the past episodes also on the Cybertruck and on the lights and everything before the event started. And are you lucky to slipped into that thing? And now it's like a reparation for you, some kind of, because of course Brian tried so hard, also the people in the comments as well. What events did Brian miss actually? It's so sad that he couldn't come. Are you the only one who went there besides your friend?
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was one or two other party crashers who were also regulars of the bar who just kind of wandered in and didn't notice the sign that said private party, because it wasn't like they had a huge amount of security. It's a place, it's not a real restaurant. It's not a restaurant. It's a brewery that has a seating area. They didn't have to do much to secure the place for themselves. And all of us were open about the fact that we weren't Tesla employees. People asked me, do you work for Tesla? And I'd say, no, I work in things around Tesla. That was a sufficient answer. Even still, these people were still being guarded. They weren't telling me anything earth shattering. I was able to determine that Hertz does not order cars one at a time through the web app. There is a B2B division that handles large orders because
wow,
Elon is not insane. Okay, maybe that's not true, but if he is insane, he's not insane about that. That would be crazy to think that some poor clerk has to sit there all day with the gold card out ordering car after car. So no, that's another big one from last night.
Wow,
I guess I should say Friday night, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the days are morphing together now. It's absolutely astonishing. Of course, we've seen the specs and everything. And also I mean, I'm very focused on the European market right now because I'm biting my nails right now, seeing the thing and having a pre-order since 2020. So
yeah, the good news is that it's not just a tweet. It's something the company is actively pursuing. There are people whose job it is to make it possible, and they are on the job. They are not happy about that part of the job because they are, they're lawyers. They're very concerned with lawyerly things. So
I interview you somehow in this episode. I'm going to ask you this question because now you're more nearer of a source than I am for this episode. So I would ask you, do you think, because Elon was talking in his tweet specifically about downsizing, or the person was asking, can we have a smaller Cybertruck for Europe? He was responding with, good idea. But do we need to downsize the car or not? I wouldn't say so, of course. What we've talked about, that so much people in the comments already know, the viewer here.
I will ask the viewers. I think we know the answer is everybody would love a smaller Cybertruck. Make a 4-seat version that's just narrower and just scale it down in all proportions. And I think it would be a big seller. Will they make one? Maybe, but that doesn't mean that they can't make one. And there would be a new development cycle. I think we'd be more likely to see a Cyber Compact because that is definitely the next thing coming. Interestingly, I did have a chance to talk with a parts supplier friend of mine who is in town for the event. I talked to him after the event. He actually got to go to it. And we were talking about the whole steer-by-wire thing. Steer-by-wire, magical. I've got a number of viewers who keep asking, please get me answers on right-hand drive. And we've got them. With steer-by-wire, you can have right-hand drive. But what my buddy was saying is that means the next thing coming is brake-by-wire. And brake-by-wire is the missing element in the unboxed method. Because if you're going to build it in compartments and smack them together, what's going to happen is you're still going to have to run the hydraulic lines for the brakes. And that defeats a lot of the time and energy savings of unboxed. But if you've got steer-by-wire and brake-by-wire, now it's truly a modular car. You could change out the entire back end. You could extend it by 10 feet in the middle, and it wouldn't change anything except your ground clearance and turn radius.
That's ridiculous now. It's mind blowing what you just put on the plate here for me and the audience right now. This is crazy, Bright. I'm so happy that you went there, and also you might be happy that you just went there, even if you don't have an invite. But this is crazy, because the crazy thing now is with all these things, these developments, because people really don't realize what the Cybertruck actually means. The Cybertruck has new production methods that I was speculating and you were speculating since, I don't know, half a year or something, that or longer even, that they're going to implement that also for the compact car and for the smaller car. And now it makes absolutely sense, because key components is steer-by-wire and key components is brake-by-wire to get the complexity down of the car and switch out the steering wheel or take out the steering wheel, whatever you're going to do. Now it's easier to do that, because then you can really do it by software easily, because now it's controlled differently. It's not as complex, less moving parts. It's ridiculously awesome for also UK and also for Japan, because now they can just switch out the wheel or put it, I don't know, in the middle console. In the middle, they could do anything. Anything is possible now with the wheel placement, and also, like you said, with the wheels, because the brakes are modular now. Crazy, absolutely mind-blowing what's happening. So that means the Cybertruck actually is the big forefront of the new production methods that we're going to see more and more inside of Tesla, which is awesome. Yeah.
And if it is steer-by-wire, that means you could technically put the steering wheel in the back seat, so that when you need to have a stunt driver, he can just be sitting behind you while you're
yeah,
with the Maggie Simpson fake wheel. But
a fun idea.
Yeah. So, guys, I do want to thank all my supporters, all my viewers, all my patrons, because you are the reason I am able to come to Texas and get these scoops. When I go to Michigan, when I go to Florida, I'm a little talkative. You may have pieced that together. So thank you for getting me here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get you this information. You can support me on Patreon, on X as a subscriber, on YouTube as a channel member. And before you go, you should also pop over and check out Jan on Tesla Fix, because he does great work and he has on some of the best guests, and also me. But for everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things, and everybody, just stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots. Maybe next time I'm in Austin.
All right, bye everybody.